Evolutionists make, again, a very serious mistake when they talk about the volcanic ash and dirt in the polar ice caps, proving that they're hundreds of thousands of years old, millions of years old. But when in fact we now know that they can form very rapidly, even in current modern times. I mentioned that we have volcanoes that we can even document, specifically document, um, that show us what would happen in a worldwide flood followed by an ice age, followed, with thousands of volcanoes going off. In fact, I'll get into it for a second. In the polar ice caps, the French and Russian scientists have drilled all the way through the polar ice caps in the Antarctic. American scientists have drilled all the way through the polar ice cap in Greenland. I would point out, what we found under the polar ice in Greenland, which was biological material from plants and insects. Greenland at one time was green. And this ice and snow came after the flood very rapidly. Now, when evolutionists go through these cores, they say we count layers and we count so many layers. And again, they make all kinds of claims, 40,000 layers, 80,000 layers. And they'll say, well, that's how old the ice is, that each layer of ash and dirt is a year on our calendar. Now, again, I will revert to the fact that, Donnie, you're in Canada. I made 59 trips to Russia, more than half of them in the wintertime. I grew up in the Sierras of California. You still plow snow up there?
We do. We recently stopped. Luckily, the weather's been nicer, but we do.
Well, yeah, I mean this year, but I'm just simply saying. But during the wintertime, you do plow snow. Still in places in Canada, right? I mean, it's not just heated highways and salting, right?
Right.
There are places where you actually do plow, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, tell me, after a snowfall and you have a plowing for a period of time, a short period probably, you have really nice, clean edges to the snow, and you see layers in the snow, do you not?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I mean, I have great pictures of that sort of thing. Now, all you have to do is compress that, and you see exactly what we get in the polar ice caps. And today we now know that these layers are not individual years, they're individual storms.
Okay, so when these evolutions, because we've got a couple in the chat that are saying these ice cores demonstrate their precious old Earth, but you're saying you can get them not necessarily annually, but just from storms, weather changes.
This is simply individual storms. It's totally inconsistent with years. First of all, how long does snow stay pristine in Canada between storms? Dirt, dust, pollen, whatever, starts to accumulate immediately. Diesel dust. I mean,
right, big time.
But even out in the wilderness, you'll get material that is falling from ash from fires trying to heat houses and so forth. And so each of these layers actually is an individual storm or an individual event occurring very rapidly one after another. And so to say that each layer in the polar ice is 1 year is to simply, again, use religion to try to trick people, deceive people into believing the way you do, but it's inconsistent with what we find scientifically.